for all that information. You can make some money today. Brandon Lang from BrandonLang.com with us right now on the Zach Gelb Show. B-Lang, what's happening, brother?
You know, I should have been a college basketball coach, man.
What you think of that scandal?
It's unbelievable how careless that these guys are. But knowing the AAU circuit the way that I do, having friends that have programs, having buddies that have kids who are playing in these programs, I could see the writing on the wall. Didn't know it would go to the length of which it did with these coaches and agents, but it doesn't surprise me. My buddy's had his kid playing in an AAU program in Florida since the 4th grade, and one of the kids on the team got a text from a Louisville coach saying, "I'll offer your kid right now." The kid was in the 4th grade. So
wow.
It's crazy, the lengths. And remember this name, Julian Strother. Julian Strother out of Vegas. He's going into the 10th grade. He's my best friend's boy, 6'7", 215. Already got 13 full-ride scholarships, including UCLA, Florida State, Creighton, to name a few. And he's projected to be top 3 best kid class 2020. Sure, first round, maybe first pick in the NBA draft. He's that good. And Lee says on the AAU circuit, what he's seen coming after his kid just blows him away. So it's there. But I think it's going to be very interesting in the next 3 to 6 months. All the stuff comes out because these just aren't the guilty parties. These are just the first guilty parties.
And this is the thing. I'm not surprised by what happened and what transpired, but the surprising part to me was, because we know there's a lot of corruption in college basketball, that it was the FBI that finally, took down these coaches. Like, you would never think the FBI would be the people involved with this.
They give you a perfect example. These shoe companies, Adidas, Under Armour, Nike, they fund the AAU programs in hopes that to recoup their investment, all they got to do is to have one kid out of these AAU programs go pro, hit the big, and wear their shoe. And the investment is minimal as to the payoff with the shoe companies once this kid goes to the NBA and stays with the shoe he's worn all the way since the 4th grade. My buddy's team is fully outfitted with Adidas. His son has wore Adidas since he was in the 4th grade. Their team is very good, one of the top 3 best teams in Florida for their age group, and they're Adidas. And let's say one of these kids, and a couple of their kids got high D1 talent. 9 years down the road, they go to the NBA, who do you think they're going to sign with? Adidas. And there's your payoff. So that's where it starts, with giving these kids all the backpacks, the shoes, the clothes, the this, the that, all the way through high school. And then they'll be steered to an Adidas university, and then, of course, steered to Adidas when they go pro. And it starts all the way funding these programs in the 4th grade.
Do you think they should pay college athletes to try to prevent these things from happening?
I think that the college athlete should get paid a percentage of the jersey he sells because they're buying his jersey. He's responsible for that jersey. So he should get a percent of every jersey sold while he's at school. They should get a little more money based on the revenue they generate while they're there, but there should be some kind of compensation because the money the NCAA is making and the school's making far outweighs the little scholarship money they're getting for the free education.
Brandon Lang with us from BrandonLang.com right now on the Zach Gelb Show, Fox Sports 920 The Jersey. How'd you do last week, Brandon? I had a tough week. I had an offer.
Yeah, me too. Week 1 in the NFL, I went over. Week 2, I swept the board. Week 3, I went over. So if the zigzag theory stays in place, we're due for another big sweep this weekend. So I managed to pick one of the only 2 home dogs that didn't get there with the Detroit Lions in the gut-wrenching, heartfelt loss of 1st and goal at the 1-yard line with 19 seconds to go. If you'd have came to me before the game and said, B. Lang, you can have Detroit's offense at the 1-yard line with 19 seconds to go for the win, or you can have Atlanta's defense. What are you going to take? I'm on Matthew Stafford all day long. That one hurt. And then Monday night, watching Arizona put up 150-yard total offense in the first quarter and only lead 7-0, that hurt too. So tough weekend. But you know what? The great thing about this business, this weekend, Got to win this weekend.
Well, people are happy in this area. They don't care about the spreads when the Eagles are playing. I know some do, but they'll take the Eagles' victory, and the Eagles did get that victory in nail-biting fashion up against the New York Football Giants. Eagles now head out to L.A. where they'll face the Chargers, who have 0 wins on the season, and the Chargers are favored by 1 point. What do you like in this game coming up on Sunday?
There's nothing I like in this game. San Diego's 4-12 against the spread. Their last 16 on the Vegas board as a home team, while Philadelphia's 2-7 against the spread, their last 9 away games. All I can say is Philadelphia's gone over the posted total 10 of their last 12 away games. I think this game goes over the posted total on Sunday.
Let me ask you this, and you've been following this for a long time as we're talking to Brandon Lang from BrandonLang.com. When you have an East Coast team go out to the West Coast and they leave Saturday morning, how does that factor into picking the game?
I always told people going east to west, that jet lag doesn't settle in until the second day. That's when it gets you. So they won't feel the jet lag until Monday when they fly back. That's when it gets you. Most jet lag hits you a day later. So, and they've kind of figured that out. Teams used to go out a day early. They used to go out on Friday and then be acclimated Saturday. Well, the jet lag hits you Sunday. And I've traveled a lot, and it's true. It hits you on the second day. So they get out there Saturday, play on Sunday. When they get back, they're going to be wrecked Monday, Tuesday. So I always like to go against those East Coast teams going west, not when they go west, but go against them on the game back because you're lethargic till Wednesday. So keep an eye on that. But I think the way both these teams match up with one another, it's going to be a nice high-scoring game.
Interesting. You look at this NFC East, Giants 0-3, Redskins, Eagles, and Cowboys all at 2-1. Through the first 3 weeks of the season, who do you like in this NFC East to win it all?
You know, it's Dallas. It's just they have more weapons to win games. They have no right winning. They had no right winning that game on Monday night. If you look at their offense and how they struggled, they got Dak rolling out, throwing it up for grabs 3 times and completes passes, and they win a game that by 11 that they should have lost by 7. When that offensive line gels and they got a mobile quarterback making plays, at the end of the day, you can trust them offensively more than a Kirk Cousins or Carson Wentz at this point. But now I say that also by saying if there's one team out of those 3 that can punch them in the mouth, it's Philadelphia, because of the way Philadelphia plays and the way Schwartz has got that defense playing right now. Little concern about the way they squandered that game on Sunday, but it's still early in the season. Their secondary being banged up concerns me a little bit, hence the reason why I like the over on Sunday. But if Philly gets healthy, I think Philly's more of a challenge to Dallas, Washington.
Let's head up the Turnpike. The Jets, they have their first victory. They got it over the weekend up against the Dolphins in blowout fashion, 20-6. The Jets now get the Jags and the Browns for the next 2 games. Jets have the Jags at home this weekend, and Jacksonville's a 3.5-point favorite, Brandon.
Yeah, it's funny. The Jags have not been a road favorite since 2011. Think about that for a second. How bad must you be that you're a home dog to the Jags, who haven't been a road favorite since 2011? With all that being said, I just get the sneaky suspicion that the Jets are going to figure out a way to cover this game as well. They made Jay Cutler look very average, and now they get a Blake Bortles coming in here off the London trip. I lean toward the Jets plus the 3.5.
You look at last week's opponent for Jacksonville, the Baltimore Ravens. You're in England, and Baltimore didn't even show up. We talk about flights, going from the coast to the coast. That must have been one long flight back for the Baltimore Ravens, who lost 44-7 to the Jags.
Yeah, it's a 6-hour flight. You get 3 meals and free movie. That's kind of they got the meal at night, and then they got the breakfast and lunch. So it was from a meal standpoint, it's a pretty good flight. But just goes to show you their first 2 wins aren't as impressive as first looked at, with the win at Cincinnati in the domination fashion, and then beating Cleveland. They really didn't beat anybody. That was the game everybody kind of missed. Oh, that Ravens defense looks so good. Well, who'd they beat? Cincinnati and Cleveland. Where you look at it now, those 2 teams are winless. So good win for Jacksonville, but back home against Pittsburgh, They're playing a team that they've beaten 4 in a row in this stadium and 4-1-1 against the spread the last 6. I think Baltimore rebounds plus the 3 by the half, get 3.5, and continues their home dominance over the Pittsburgh Steelers.
That's a bold pick by you. We're talking to Brandon Lang from BrandonLang.com. Bucks, 3-point favorites up against the Giants down in Tampa. We know the Giants are 0-3. Do the Giants get back in the good graces of the football gods this week, or is this going to be another loss?
I can only tell you what I think the right side of the game is. Tampa Bay 2-8, their last 10 against the spread as a home favorite. So by the half of the Giants get 3.5. They showed a lot of fight at Philadelphia, not quitting. I don't see any quit here. Big loss for Tampa Bay in the middle, losing their big guy on the D-line, the boy out of Alabama. That's going to hurt them a little bit. Giants hang around.
All right, I'll make up a spread right now as I did last week. Last week it had to do with the Eagles running back carries, and you nailed the over. This time it goes Odell Beckham celebration penalties, and I'll put the line at 1.5.
I'm going to go under. I think the backlash of urinating like a dog, which I thought was great and creative. I think he was probably out walking his dog earlier last week and looked at his dog and he goes, you know what? I think that's a good one if I score. I'm going to go under 1.5.
All right, B-Lang, before we let you run, we'll get a college thought in just a second, but give me a little preview on the game tonight, Chicago and Green Bay.
Ugly. With that being said, Green Bay struggled against Seattle week 1, gets blown out at Atlanta, losing by 2 scores against Cincinnati. Do you really trust them laying more than 7? I don't. I took the Bears plus the points.
And then college football this week. What do you got cooking on BrandonLang.com for college football this week?
Got a couple dogs I like just to give out on the air. I got the Colorado at home plus the points. So they've covered the four straight in the series, and they were 4-0 as a road dog last year. So I think it's a good spot for them plus the points to kind of hang in there and get it done. And Wake Forest is a home dog, 7-8. 7-1 their last 8 as a dog. 7-4 as a home dog, last 11 against the spread. I think Florida State's in a bit of a flux, if you will. And at BrandonLang.com, my last 150-dime winner was New England in the Super Bowl over Atlanta. I haven't had one since. I got my biggest college play over the last 2 years going on Saturday. Biggest college play in the last 2 years, 150-dimer number 2 in a row. You can get it free with the one-day all-access pass on Saturday.
Hey, let me just ask you one more thing, going back to the recruiting information that you were giving us at the top of the interview. What does your friend say about all this? Because you look at what happened at the NCAA, the coaches are at fault, the shoe companies are at fault, the agents are at fault as well. But do some responsibility fall on the parents for taking that cash money?
Yep, because he specifically said to me, B, I don't have a lot of money. His wife passed away of breast cancer. His daughter, Paris, plays at UNLV on a full scholarship. And then, of course, Julian here going into the 10th grade. And he said it's very tempting. He said it's very, very tempting, the kind of money they're throwing out my way. But he goes, at the end of the day, I will not compromise my son's future for anything or anyone. And that's why he's one of my very dear friends. And I love him to death. And my wife and I are actually moving back from Jacksonville to Las Vegas at the end of the year. And I can't tell you how exciting it's going to be in Vegas. The last 2 years of Julian's high school career, watching him play next to Lee, I can't even begin to tell you how excited I am.
It's going to be awesome stuff. Hey, Brandon, we appreciate it. We'll do it again next week. Thank you.
Thanks, bud.